What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the video. And in today's video we are doing another Metallica video. Today we're going to be I'm going to be telling you guys my favorite song from each Metallica album. They have 11 studio albums, and I'm also including Garage Inc. because that's a whole album of cover songs. So I'll tell you my favorite songs from each of their albums and my favorite cover song from Metallica. So let's get straight into it. I realize my videos have been pretty long lately. I don't know, I'm just very passionate. I like talking, so maybe we could keep this video under 15 minutes, but who knows. All right, first album, which is Kill 'Em All, of course. And I love this album. Debut album, very thrashy. Favorite song is definitely Whiplash. And the reason why I like Whiplash so much is because I feel like it's pure Metallica. It's the only song that they've ever said their name. It's the only song that Metallica has ever said Metallica in a song. Won't ever stop, won't ever quit, because we're Metallica. Recently, they changed that lyric when they're playing it live to say, won't ever stop, won't ever quit, because you're Metallica, which is pretty cool. I like that a lot. And it's like one of my favorite lines, lyrics that Metallica has said, because it kind of just reassures me that they'll never quit. You know what I mean? Like, since they, they're getting older and stuff like that, there's always the thought that, oh, are they going to retire? Are they going to stop playing? Are they going to, hang up the gloves? But recently, I'm pretty sure they said that they're not stopping anytime soon. And that lyric has aged perfectly, because they've been together for over 40 years. And 3 of the band members have been in the band from the start. So, and that's something that a lot of bands who have been around as long as Metallica, that's something that a lot of them can't do, is stay together. And they've been together for 40 years. Yeah, they've had a couple bass player switch-ups. I mean, one of them passed away. The other one left. And the other one was added. But I love that lyric. Whiplash is very good. Very good song. Very thrashy. So yeah, there's my favorite song from Kill 'Em All, Whiplash. From Ride the Lightning, my favorite song is Fight Fire with Fire, which is the opener to the album. And Fight Fire with Fire is so good, so thrashy as well, and I love the lyrics. I love the way it's sang. It sang even a word. I just like the way it sounds. And that one part where Lars just, all you hear is this double bass going, and like the guitars fade away, like all the instruments fade away, and all you can hear is this double bass going crazy. I love that part. It's so good. It's very catchy. Probably one of their best openers. Yeah, Fight Fire with Fire is a great song. From Master of Puppets, favorite song is Battery, which is yet again another opening track for the album. And Battery is, I love Battery so much. Battery is such a good song. It's not only really heavy, really thrashy, but the riffs are beautiful. So you all know that, if you're a Metallica fan, you know the Battery riff, you know the riff, and like the main riff. And during Kirk Hammett's solo, James actually changes the riff a little bit, and it sounds so heavy. If you listen to the guitars isolated, like if you go on YouTube and you search up Metallica Battery rhythm guitar isolated, so all you can hear is the rhythm guitar, he changes up the riff during the solo, and it's so heavy. Probably one of my favorite riffs, and no one notices it because you're paying attention to Kirk's solo. Can't hear well, you can hear it, but you're not really paying attention to James playing in the back, and the riff is awesome. And in that one part where Kirk is, and this is like probably my favorite breakdown of all time, my favorite breakdown in metal, and my favorite Metallica breakdown. And it's the part where Kirk's solo fades away, and it just gets hit like dun 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 dun. Like, it's so good, it's so good. And towards the end of the song, like the last 20 seconds of the song is that breakdown. And if you've listened to Battery, you know the breakdown I'm talking about. It's a very good breakdown. Very heavy. And it just makes you want to aggressively bang your head. So yeah, Battery is a very good song. Another song to their fans as well. Battery, which is, you know, basically saying that the fans are the battery, and the fans are what, you know, gives Metallica the power, which is very cool. I love when they do that type of stuff. So yeah, Master of Puppets Battery is my favorite song. Favorite song off of Justice, which is my favorite Metallica song in general. It's Dyer's Eve. Dyer's Eve is my favorite song of all time. Not just my favorite Metallica song, not just my favorite metal song, my favorite song of all time. Dyer's Eve is a beautiful work of art. It's the closest thing you're ever going to hear to death metal Metallica. It's so heavy. It's so heavy. The lyrics, man. The lyrics is what really does it for me. It's because the lyrics, basically this song is about the hell that James Hetfield's parents have put him through. Now, I can't relate. I live a pretty good life. I don't really have any hatred towards my parents, but it just has so much emotion, and it's so aggressive and so angry. It's just, I love it. I love it so much. It's, you know, I mean, I don't love that it happened to him, but I just love the way he turned it into a song. Very personal song. They've only played it 2 or 3 times. They're probably never going to play it again because it's so personal to James. And it is so heavy. And anybody who hates on Lars Ulrich's drumming, just listen to Dyer's Eve drums isolated. You can't hate on it. His drumming on the entire Justice album alone is so technical and so good. And the entire song just has Lars doing the very fast double bass pedals. And, you know, the iconic thrash beats. And his drumming is so fast. It's my favorite thing about the song is the drumming. But the drumming and then the solo that just tells the story. And the solo just tells the solo shows emotion. Like the solo begins with it going crazy, like it's probably signifying James going crazy, and then towards the end it kind of builds together, and then the solo fades away, and all you can hear is the solo, and it's so good. It's so good. The lyrics are good. You know, the dear mother, dear father lines and stuff like that. Very good stuff. Probably one of their best work. I think it's their best song they ever made. And yeah, I love this album, and I love Dyer's Eve. Very good song. For the Black Album, favorite song is usually I would have my answer, but I feel like lately my answer has been changing for this album. Because usually my favorite song for the Black Album has always been My Friend of Misery. But lately, I've really been liking The Struggle Within. Like, I finally started to appreciate that song. And it's such a good song. But I still think that My Friend of Misery is my favorite song off the Black Album. And, especially that bass line in the opening of the song. It's so good. And, I would love to play you clips of, you know, the stuff that I'm describing. But a lot of my videos have been getting copyright. So I'm not trying to get copyright. I actually want people to see this video, so I won't be playing anything. But if you're a Metallica fan, you know what I'm talking about. That bass in the opening to My Friend of Misery is so good, and it packs a lot of emotion. And this whole song packs a lot of emotion, too. This song just talks about struggles and stuff like that, you know. And it kind of tells... When I always listen to it, I always picture, like, someone struggling, right? And then I picture that same person standing in front of them, and they're singing the lyrics to their former self, saying, you know, like, you know, my friend of misery, you know, the misery that you're going through, and then, like, one of the lines saying, you still stood there screaming, right? Like, I picture, another form of themselves saying that to themselves, saying, you just stood there screaming, like no one would listen to you and stuff like that. Like, it's a very emotional and impactful song and stuff like that. And My Friend of Misery is great. The lyrics are very deep, very good. The solo is good too. Solo's good. And the bass, gotta love the bass. So yeah, My Friend of Misery, favorite song off of the Black Album. All right, now we're getting into Load. Favorite song off of Load is probably everyone else's favorite song off Load, which is Hero of the Day. The best song on the album and the song that carries the whole album, to be honest. Hero of the Day it was really refreshing to hear it, because the first 5 albums of Metallica are like the heaviness, the thrashiness, the aggressiveness. And then after that, the next 3 albums get kind of softer. And that's what Load and Reload. Load and Reload are like softer, soft rock kind of. Like, they're still like, it's like hard rock, you know what I mean? Like, stuff like that. And hearing Hero of the Day, especially when it gets to the breakdown, was really refreshing, because I'm like, bro, this is nice. This is like, this could be on Justice. But the vocals, very good. The lyrics are very good. The melodies and the breakdowns, the instruments, the drumming, everything about that song is good. Favorite song off of Reload is The Unforgiven 2. And I'm pretty sure that was obvious, because I literally have a single CD, and that CD only has 1 song on it, and it's The Unforgiven 2. The Unforgiven 2 is my favorite Unforgiven. I've said it in multiple videos. But The Unforgiven 2 is, in my opinion, the best Unforgiven out of all 3 of the Unforgivens. Better than the Black Album's Unforgiven, better than Death Magnetic's Unforgiven. The Unforgiven 2, something about that song, it's so good, and I love James' vocals. I love the way that he sings the song. And all 3 of the Unforgivens are like personal songs to James. So they all pack a lot of emotion. They all pack a lot of story. But I'm trying to think. I'm trying to remember what it sounds, because I haven't heard it in a while. But yeah, it's really good. Yeah, so The Unforgiven 2, definitely my favorite song off that album. It obviously has a similar opening to... It kind of fakes you out in the intro, because it sounds like, oh, it's The Unforgiven 1. Nope, it's The Unforgiven 2. But yeah, The Unforgiven 2 is a really good song. I like it. It's probably the best song on the album, actually. So yeah. And by the way, we're going in order. We're going in order from when these albums were released. So next, we have the cover album, which is a cover album. I just said that. So this has a ton of songs, if you look. A lot of songs, as you can see. And my favorite cover song, and as you can see, they have a lot of cover songs. So picking one would be hard, right? Not really. My favorite cover song by Metallica is Last Caress, Green Hell. And I think the reason why I like it so much is because, 1, it's a good song. 2, it's the song that got me into the Misfits. And thanks to that, I'm a very big Misfits fan now. And I love the way that they just combine both songs. Because the first time I heard Last Caress, Green Hell, I'm like, okay, that's like an interesting title, Last Caress / Green Hell. I guess it never came to my mind, oh, it's a conjointed song. And then I started to get into the Misfits. Like, I was discovering the Misfits, trying to see, like, discover their music. And then I see Last Caress. And I'm like, where's Green Hell? And I see Green Hell. I'm like, oh, it's separate songs. So I like the way that they combine both songs. And I like the way that, I like the transition between Last Caress to Green Hell. And it's a very, very good cover. I think they did it. They did it justice. They did it. They definitely did the song justice. And I think, if I'm not wrong, Green Hell, when they did Green Hell, it was actually one of the fastest that Metallica has ever played, which is crazy because it's one of their cover songs, and it's one of the fastest that they've ever played. But Last Caress, Green Hell is a very good song. I love the way that James sings it. The instruments sound clean. Everything sounds clean. And then once it gets to Green Hell, I love the backup vocals. I love everything. Last Caress, Green Hell is awesome. But besides that, the entire 5.99 or 5.95, the entire EP, which has Helpless, The Small Hours, The Wait, Crash Course, and Last Caress. I love all of those. And Am I Evil and Blitzkrieg and Bread Fan. Those are like my favorite. But Bread Fan is a original Metallica song. And also Die Die My Darling, which is another Misfits cover song, and Whiskey in a Jar. There's a lot of good cover songs on here, but I only like a few of them. I don't like most of them. Okay, next we have Saint Anger. And can I actually do that? Does that look right? Look at that. All right, next we have Saint Anger, and I actually don't have any song I like from this album. I'm not even trolling either. I don't like any song on this album. You guys know how much I dislike this album. I don't like it. This album sucks, and I think we all know that. I'm still waiting for them to remaster and re-release the album, because I honestly believe if they remastered and re-released this album, it would sound great. But, you know, they don't want to do it. Maybe in a couple years they will. But Saint Anger, I don't have a single song. I don't have a favorite song, because I don't like any of the songs. But if I had to pick one, it would probably be Saint Anger, the title track. I like the part where he says, "Say," I'm not singing for you. You know the part. Like the best part about Saint Anger, is what's good. Okay. Now that we're done with Saint Anger, we have 3 albums left, and this video should be under 20 minutes long. Next, we have Death Magnetic. So, Death Magnetic, I have listened to this album, of course, but I want to re-listen to it because I feel like I can't remember anything from this album when I listened to it the first time. So I am going to re-listen to it, but there's only 2 songs that I like on this album, and it's The Day That Never Comes and The Unforgiven 3. And if I had to pick one, The Day That Never Comes, which is the most, which is the song that this album's known for, is The Day That Never Comes. I honestly think that The Day That Never Comes is like the title track of Death Magnetic. Yeah. So I have to re-listen to it, but I'm gonna give this. I'm not rating it. I was gonna say I'm gonna give this album a 7 out of 10. My favorite song is The Day That Never Comes, and the reason why The Day That Never Comes is my favorite song off that album is because the solo is one of my favorite solos that Metallica has. It's a pretty lengthy song, but it has good progression, and they carry out the song pretty well. It sounds great. Yes, the sound quality of the album is questionable. I don't really know how to explain it, but when they were, I think the mixing sounds good. I think something went wrong with the sound quality because it sounds a little bit loud. Like, it made me think, oh, loud's a good thing. No, not for this. Like, it sounds staticky. And I'm not the only one who thinks that. Most people complain that these 2 albums have bad production. Especially this one. This is horrible. This one's more listenable. You know, this one's more, this one's more tolerable, but it has some issues. But The Day That Never Comes is awesome. Very good song. And there was one point where that was my favorite song for a while. There was one point where that was my favorite Metallica song. But yeah, Day That Never Comes is a classic. I would always listen to that. I don't have any problem with that song. Next, we have Hardwired, which I just re-listened to because I had a similar situation with Death Magnetic. I've listened to both of these albums, of course, but I feel like I couldn't remember anything from these albums. This one was more recognizable for me. Like this one, I remembered more. We have a lot of good songs. Hardwired, Atlas Rise, Moth into Flame, Murder One, and Spit Out the Bone. Right? Really good songs. I re-listened to it, and only 2 songs I didn't like, and it was Confusion and Am I Savage. So I re-listened to it. I liked a lot of the songs, but my favorite song from this album, and I'd even go as far to say that this is probably on the top 10 best Metallica songs of all time, and that is Spit Out the Bone. Spit Out the Bone is a masterpiece, a work of art, musically, like, it's such a good song. Like, I would love to play you guys the song, but just take my word for it, or just listen to it. Spit Out the Bone is 7 minutes of the best progression I've ever seen Metallica do. This song has like every element of metal. Fade away, like heavy riffs. There's one part where it's like kind of sludge. There's one part where it's like sludgy, like sludge metal. There's one part where the solo fades away, and there's like 3 solos or 2 solos on here. The vocals as well, very heavy. The drumming is so fast. It has like every element of metal, and I feel like it's genuinely a metal masterpiece. Spit Out the Bone is such a good song, and it's definitely one of Metallica's best songs. And for one of their most recent albums to have that title, or, you know, for me to give one of their recent albums that title is crazy. Not crazy, but, like, it's interesting because, you know, the first 5 Metallica albums are, like, work of art. Or, like, you know, like, those things are beautiful. But you can't really hate on Spit Out the Bone. You really can't. Spit Out the Bone is a very good song. I feel like old school Metallica fans would love that song. Alright? Because a lot of old school Metallica fans are like, oh, everything after the Black Album sucks. Most of them, you think the Black Album sucked, too. But yeah, Spit Out the Bone. I love that song so much, man. Yeah, y'all understand. That's a good song. Okay, so for the final album, which came out this year, is 72 Seasons. And my favorite song from this album is Inamorata, which wasn't a surprise because it's a good song. It's a very good song, and it's their longest song, 11 minutes. I know. But for a band to make a song that long, to make an 11-minute song, to make the listener sit there for 11 minutes and listen to the song has to be good. You have to have good progression. You have to have stuff that hook the listener. You have to have stuff that really wants the listener to stay and finish the song. And Inamorata has that. Okay? The very catchy chorus, or like the main part of the lyrics when he says, I need her but she needs me more. I love her but she loves me more. Oh no, she loves me. She loves me but I love her more. She needs me but I need her more. She kills me but I end this war. She fills me but she's not what I'm living for. You know, like that's such a good part. That's music writing at its top notch. All right, that's some good stuff. But the riffs are good, the progression is good, and then the bridge. Towards the end of the song, it gets quiet, and all you hear is that bass, and the bass is going crazy. And then he sings that part again, where he says, you know, she needs me, I need her more, right? He sings that part while the quiet bass is going, and you can't hear anything else. All you can hear is the hi-hat, the bass, and James. And it's so good, and then it builds up like, and then it just explodes, and then Kirk gets into the solo, and it's awesome. And yeah, the solo's great. And then towards the end of the song is playing, and all you hear is James saying, "Misery, my misery, misery, my misery. She's not what I'm living for," you know. And then when he stops singing, he says like no, 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 and then it fades away. And then we get the harmonies. Bro. I think this album has some of the best harmonies Metallica has ever done. And I think that Inamorata has the best harmony on the album. But the harmonies towards the end of the song are so good. The riffs and everything. All I gotta say is that Inamorata is... It's also a ballad, by the way. It's a ballad. It's another personal song for James Hetfield because this song basically talks about his wife that he got divorced with. And by the way, he's been with this woman for over a decade. They had multiple children. I think they had like 3 kids, maybe more. And they divorced. They recently divorced. So he wrote a song about it, you know, to get it out. And that's one thing I like about Metallica or James Hetfield is that he lets his emotion out and he really like whatever's on his chest, he gets it out through music. And that's really nice. That's really cool. And he basically made a song about it, 11 minutes long, and I love it. It's such a good song. And I can also relate to it because it basically talks about how this woman hurts you and how this woman like affects you and she does damage to you, and you know, she makes you go through a lot of pain and a lot of stuff. And I can actually relate to that, which is crazy, unfortunately. But not only can I really relate to it, it's just a really good song. And yeah, Inamorata is great. Inamorata is a very good song. So that is my favorite song from each Metallica album. I recommend listening to every song I named, and you'll probably like it. But that's it for today's video. 27 minutes long. I don't know how that happened, but that's it. I'll see you guys in the next one.